Pen spinning may seem pretty easy, to some people at least, but that's because most people barely see the depths pen spinning can go. And even when they do see an advanced combo, they don't know what to look for, and cannot differentiate it from a normal or even beginner combo. Today I'll be breaking down one of my older combos for Fen Second, which currently stands as the benchmark for level 5 Tech God in Spindies. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means if you beat this combo or match it, then you get rewarded with a level 5 roll, marking you as one of the best spinners right now. As of now, there are only 7 people at this level, and only 4 of them from combos. My Fen Second combo is probably one of the easier combos to beat, if not the easiest in the level 5 combos, but it's still level 5 nonetheless, decided by other level 5s other than me by the way. This combo is pretty old, but still remains relevant today, so without further ado, let's start breaking it down at the first trick. And for future reference for those who don't know, numbers are fingers to represent finger slots. So the first trick is a charge in 1-2 to pass to 2-3, which are definitely the easiest tricks you will see in this entire combo. But what comes next might be a surprise. It's actually technically a twisted sonic from 2-3 to 1-2 interrupted by an index around 0.5 to 3-4. This already requires some dexterity and knowledge of tech, but not that much. Many non-technical spinners can still do this today. Next is an inverse sonic from 3-4 to 2-4, interrupted by a middle round reverse 0.5 to 1-4 with 2 out and 3 in, which is somewhat hard to do, but definitely not advanced yet. Next, however, we transition palm down and do an index around reverse 0.5 to 2-3, which is somewhat hard to do while keeping your entire hand palm down the entire time. This is immediately followed by a sonic which is interrupted by a moonwalk inverse twisted sonic, also known as the infamous mitts. But this mitts is harder than normal because it is palm down and performed from 1-3 to 3-4, which is then immediately followed by an inverse flush sonic to 1-4. The finger dexterity required to transition super quickly from a mitts to this type of inverse flush sonic is pretty hard. Next we do another palm down index back around reverse 0.5, but this time to 3-4. We turn palm up and catch it on the end for what comes next, which is a palm up wiper reverse in 3-4 with half FC 3-4 to a pinky back to 3-4. Also palm up. This entire section might be one of the hardest parts of the whole combo. Being able to catch it perfectly at the tip of the pen while keeping momentum and execution right after a somewhat dense sonic tech part is pretty tricky. Next we go palm down and do a sonic from 3-4 to 1-4 then 1-2. But the rotation is partially interrupted by another mitts or moonwalk inverse twisted sonic, this time to 2-3, which is immediately followed by an inverse side sonic to 1-3. This inverse side sonic is also interrupted by a palm down index around reverse 0.5 from 1-3 to 1-2. After this, it counters in 1-2 to a basic back around to 1-2, but this is immediately followed by a moonwalk E sonic to 3-4, also known as MES for short. This then counters to a moonwalk west sonic, also known as MWIS, back to 1-2, which is then followed by another moonwalk E sonic, making for a somewhat dense counter section. After this, it goes to a wiper in 3-4 with half FC 3-4 followed by a pass to 1-2. To do the wiper well, you really have to perform a seasick motion, which basically means you go from the center of the pen to the end. But you have to do it at the same time that you're doing the moonwalk E sonic, which makes it pretty hard dexterity wise as well as timing wise. Once in 1-2, we do another back around, but this time it's a rainbow back around. But this rainbow back around goes to 2-4 and is partially interrupted by a palm up inverse side sonic to 3-4, also known as a moonwalk inverse side sonic, or MISS for short. The momentum continues, immediately followed by a partially interrupted palm up pinky bust to 3-4, immediately followed by a wiper in 3-4 with half FC 3-4. This also needs you to perform a seasick in midair after the palm up pinky bust. Once the wiper is performed, we pass to 1-2 and do a normal palm down back around to 1-2, finishing the combo. The overall material is somewhat outdated and the execution is lacking, but the difficulty and structure is, I would say, a decent example of a so-called advanced combo. If you think you can beat this, feel free to join Spindy's Discord server. There you can level up as a pen spinner, battle other spinners, and compete among the rankings to become the best pen spinner possible. Thanks for watching. See you next time.